What's up with everybody? The other day, when I was making that video that has the whispers, right? I was playing with the sage stick in the video in the dark, right? I was doing this number. Right? That's what I was doing with it. So, give me a moment, and we're gonna get to this. We're gonna get into this. This is great. Alright? The Spirit's been talking to me like so strong lately. Like hardcore. And I love it. Like, there's so much that's happening through me and around me. And I'm sharing all that with each and every one of you, right? And that's where Spirit does the speaking, is all my videos are lining up. Everything I talk about lines up. I don't even plan it. I just go with it, right? I have no plans when I do these videos. Like, other than like the ones where I'm making the pictures and stuff, like, even then, I'm not the one that's doing it, right? When I did the channeling with Hecate, right? So when I did that channeling with Hecate, listen to everything she's talking about, right? It's right. Now I'm gonna show you what she's been putting in front of me for days now, right? Every morning when I get up, and I don't mean like morning, I should say every grand rising that I get up, every day that I wake up, right? I have my little cleansing routine, right? Where I light my frankincense. See, I'm starting the channel. When I trip up on words, I'm starting the channel. So, anyways, I'll light my frankincense incense, right? And now, I think it's been a couple weeks, maybe a week or two now, since I did the video where I went outside. I was like, let's go outside, and it was nighttime, and you can go check, it's still there. I walked downstairs and go outside, and I set my camera up out there, and I was talking about how I was going to talk about crystals, and I was talking about some of the crystals that I had in my hand. Well, one of those was my oils, right? This one, right? It's the earth element oils, but it ran out a long time ago, so I made more and put it in here with the tiger's eye. Well, every morning that I wake up, right? Not morning, but day wake. I gotta really kick that M-O-R-N-I-N-G out. Every grand rising, every new day wake, right? So I get up and I put this on my third eye and I do the number 8 2 different ways, which is infinity, right? The circles, or I'll dot it, get some on my nostril, right? So stick around, this gets even better, right? So there's that, right? So we have a sphere inside of this, right? That little ball that's in the top, right? Moves around, right? Stay with me. Alright. So when I did the unboxing for my singing bowls, right? I was talking about my lower back injury that I had when I worked with my dad. That was when I first had my first one. So I had my back injury, right? And I've had 3 altogether. I've had 2 when I was working for my dad's company, right? And then I had a third one where I bought my sister's car and I didn't know that the front tire for the brakes, that cars had a lock lug nut. I didn't know. I'm not no fucking mechanic, right? I didn't know about lock lug nuts. There's one on some vehicles, not all of them have it. Well, I didn't know about that lock lug nut and needing to have a different type of head on it. So when I went to go loosen it, like I did all the other ones, I even had a bar on it because I couldn't, a leverage bar. Dude, when I pulled up on it, it re-injured my first 2, right? So 3 back injuries, right? You follow me? 2 altogether. 2 happened back to back within a 3-month period, right? My third one happened 3 years later when I bought my sister's old car for $3,000, right? The brakes were so bad on the car that we called a tow truck driver to tow the car to my mom's boyfriend's house because I went over there to stay because I went from Crestline to there, right? Just keep following me because this gets better and better. Listen to the numbers, listen to everything I'm talking about. Alright, I promise you it's worth your time. Alright, so anyhow, the tow truck driver that came had the 3 A's on it, right? AAA, right? Okay, so we're talking about Trinity, right? Trinity, triple goddess, right? And mind, body, soul, right? And other people know the Trinity is something entirely different, depending on your belief system. And I'm not knocking anybody's belief system here, so it's all love, alright? So, anyways, now that being said, there's the back injury story. That's simple, sweet. That's literally the time frame it went down. I'm not going to talk about what years that went down. That's irrelevant, right? So my lower back injury, right? It's right here. That's where it's at. Every time. I said it in the breathwork video too. I said my back hurts, right? I was talking about how the bed sucked and I went to go get the air mattress, right? Well, anyways. So, today, and you can go check, I did the video where I was like, I got my download and all I heard was, get your sound bowl, take one, the root chakra, right? And go to the gas station and raise the vibration in the gas station. That's what I said in that video that I put out earlier. And that's what I went and did, right? You see what's on this bag. It's the flower of life, right? And the 7 chakras. Starting with the root, all the way to the crown, right? So the energy centers, right? Where's my back injury at? Right above my root, because the root is the sexual organs, the pelvis bone, right? sacral. That's where my back injury is at. Now, how's this relevant? You following me? Alright. So, I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay. So when I was grabbing the wand, right? Again, it's got flower of life on it, on the back, and the 7 chakras, right? And I was drawn to these 2 in the heart chakra, right? That's 3. Well, I was standing there and I was going like this, right? That's what I was doing. I was just staring at the bag, right? Okay. So earlier, before I came out here, I was standing there and I picked up, this is the heart chakra bowl, right? And I was just holding it. I was just standing in the room and I was holding it. And I went into a trance state, right? And I was holding it, but I wasn't holding it up like this, right? I was just holding it up like this. So when I came out of my trance state, I noticed this is the movement of the bowl, right? That's what the bowl was doing. And I was like, why am I doing that? I was like, oh, I'm in a trance state. I was like, you know, like when you go to La La Land and you go daydream and, you know, you come back into it. You know how you're looking at somebody you can just tell and you're like, welcome back, right? Well, like that. But only, I don't have any recall as far as like any information at that time, right? So anyways, I sat the bowl down, right? And I sat down on the side of the bed and I felt inside my hoodie and I had this string in there, right? I don't remember putting the string in there. So anyways, I'm sitting there and I'm listening to Ganja White Night and I'm going like this, right? I'm just going like this, playing with it, right? What does this remind you of? This all hit me at once. Right? Are y'all, is mathing? That's what I was doing, right? So, a coiling snake, right? So then it clicks. I was like, holy shit, Kundalini, right? Kundalini. So I'm looking at the ring. These rings came with my chakra singing bowl set, right? Each one has 7. There's 7 rings for the 7 bowls, right? And so I'm looking at it. This is right before I came out here. I was like, I'm gonna do a video talk about this, and this is what came through. So I took the string and I put it on here, right? Like this. This is the idea. I haven't done it yet. I'm doing it now for the first time. But this is what was in my mind's eye, right? And I hold it, right? But this is what came through. So when I was a kid, right, there was these 2 trees in my dad's backyard of our house, right? And if you get on Google Map and you can go look this up, I'm gonna give you the real address and you can look at the backyard so you know that I'm telling the truth, because I have nothing to lie. And you can clearly tell a liar and a bullshitter, right? So here's the address for my dad's old house, right? My dad is in the spirit world now, but he ran a tree company, right? And I was talking about that a little bit in my other video. Stay with me, I'm talking circles. All right, so anyhow, here's the address. It's 2851 State Route 37 East, Delaware, Ohio 43015. And what you're gonna do is put that address in, right? And then you're gonna go to how you can zoom the satellite imagery. So when you get to that address, zoom in and you'll be able to see the backyards and the 2 trees that I was talking about. Well, those 2 trees, there's 2 maples, right? And they sit quite a ways from each other. So the house would be here by the interstate, right? So in the backyard, you'll see 2 trees and a big gap between the 2 trees, unless they come down, because I haven't been there for a couple years. So as long as they're still there, you'll see those 2 trees that I'm talking about from the sky view, right? When I was a kid, I used to climb up on one of the trees, the left side. I would always climb up the one on the left. Never thought about it till now, right? And I take one of the climbing ropes and I tie it off on the tree as high up as I can get it. Then I go to the other tree, the right tree, right? And I climb up that one and I tie the rope in the top of that tree. Then I climb down the tree and I put a climbing harness on, right, around me, and I tie the rope onto the climbing harness, and then I take the other rope that I got tied to me and I throw it up over the middle, the line that I tied between the 2 trees. When the rope came back down, I tie a little slip knot onto it. Once I climbed up on the ladder, I tie a knot just enough to where my feet, my tippy toes, and where I could run. And what I would do is I would run like this. I would run around in circles really fast. My little legs going, my little kid legs going, and I just go, and I put my arms out and I pretend I was flying with my eyes closed. I put my Ninja Turtle outfit on and I just, well, that's the same movement that I was doing when I was a kid, right? Now if you're in a tire swing, right? Follow me? We all remember doing this. Again, it's a twisty, right? See how it's twisted? When we let go, what happens? Alright? You see what I'm talking about here? You see where we're going? It's mathin'? Kundalini rising. It's Kundalini rising, right? And I'm thinking, okay, Kundalini rising, Kundalini energy, because the energy centers twist, the things I was doing when I was a kid, the things I've done with the bull, the thing with the wand, right? It gets better. It gets better. Stay with me. Right? So then I remembered, this is when I remembered, right? Hecate gives me an image in my mind's eye, and it was me in school when I was going to Olentangy Middle School at the time, and they had tether balls outside, right? That was my favorite thing to fucking play with. Tether ball. I hit that ball. Well, what does the tether ball do? It's got the pole on the center, right? You got the rope, the ball, the sphere, wraps around the pole. It does the same similar little deal, right? And then it'll come back at you real fast and you're just like bam, and you wanted to keep going. Why was we so locked onto that? I was. But how many of y'all played tetherball and would stay so lit, like bam, like getting it, right? 2 weeks ago, I took my broken necklace with the yin and yang on it, right? And I put it on my mirror, right? Alright. So there's that. So we have the tether ball. Again, the twirling around the center, right? When I seen the tether ball, the second thing that came to my mind was my other well moment, right? Now, I'm like, okay, a pendulum, right? I had a crystal on here, but the threads broke on it, so it's not on there now, but it doesn't matter. That's irrelevant, right? So pendulum. Notice I'm not moving my hand or my arm. Dowsing rods do the same thing. Right? So you see what I'm getting at? Kundalini rising, right? So then, a paper, I have these poster boards. You've seen them in one of the videos that I did, the protection. I was talking about because before an I statement or an I am statement, right? Well, before I got the duct tape, right, I took a screw and I put that up on the wall and I screwed it in. So now we have going in, going within. So within, so without. Right? You can't get out without going in. And if you want to get back in, you got to go out. It goes both ways. So now we're talking about balance, right? Okay? So there's that. So when you play the singing bowl, right? Well then, you're doing this number. Well, when I do two of them, right? To get two of them singing, now we have infinity. When planets are in rotation, what are they doing? They're doing sacred geometry. The flower of life. The dance of life. That's what it is. Kundalini rising, the planetary movements, sun around the moon, planets around the sun, the moon around the planet, all the time, constantly moving. That's what they tell us, right? Okay, so the other day, I'm playing with the mirror, right? I was playing with the mirror, and I still have the recording. I can't remember if I posted it on here or not. Maybe not, right? But anyhow, I'm playing with the mirror because I had a vape, and the sunlight was coming through the big window, right? And I'll show the video. If it's not posted, I'll post it so you can see it. And then I lit sage, right? And I was going around hitting the sunlight beams with sage smoke and a vape, right? And then the mirror was sitting on the bed, and the sunlight had hit the mirror on the bottom here, right? And it was pointing up to the sunlight. It was like the perfect angle. It was coming in from the, hitting this and then going up into the mirror, right? And then that was shooting another beam down to the floor, right? And I was like, fucking with the light, and then I move over and then I do the smoke again. I'm just watching it, like lighting up the beam. You can't see the light because it's like the beam because it's visible. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? So I'm thinking like, I'm remembering this, right? And then I'm like, okay, so what about the mirror, right? If I turned it sideways, we got a half moon, right? So we got the energy, right? When you look at a, what do you call them? The globes that spin, right? So I'm like, okay. So what if I spun the mirror, right? Without breaking it like I just did, right? And I shot a beam, right? If I had a flashlight in it and I blew smoke through the tube, and this was spinning, what would it make, right? What would it make when you do something like that? And here's what came to my mind. All right, it's. Do you remember the movie 13 Ghosts? Okay. You know, they're making the whole house is a box, and then the machine's in the middle. And they need the 13 ghosts to stand around the portal of the rotation. And then there's another movie, right? And I can't remember the name of the movie, but they they built this time travel machine, and I can't even remember what it's called, but some people depict them as angels too, like the true what an angel really looks like. It's like all the rings that spin inside of each other, right? Well, that's what that machine was doing in 13 Goes. So when I was coming back from the store, right, I seen a little, you know, those little square signs that stick on a post, and it's like, I think they're mile markers or whatever. Well, I see 13 on one of those, right? And I was like, oh, 13, you know, 13, I'm Scorpio. So, and that's the death card in tarot, right? And so then I got 13 again, and 13 and 13, right? If you do 3 plus 4, you 2 times 2, that's 8. That's infinity again, right? Right? So I'm sitting there on the side of my bed, and I'm just thinking about all this stuff, and I'm like, okay, I'm getting hit left and right. I'm like, okay, all right. And my back pain is gone now. Like, it's not there. So I'm thinking, okay, so I get on YouTube, right, and I Google about the chakras and Kundalini, because I don't know that much about Kundalini, but I know I've had a lot of, well, people talk about it that I've run into over the years, and every now and then I've seen things pop up on YouTube here and there, but I never did a deep dive on it or anything. But I know what Kundalini rising energy is. I know it deals with our energy centers, right, on our 7 chakras, our ascension process, and yada yada yada, right? So when I'm doing that research, this is earlier, and I'm like, okay, here it's talking about where my back injury is, right? It's not talking about my back injury, but you got your root chakra, and then you got your sacral, and then your solar plexus. Well, the sacral is where my back injury happened at, right? Well, that is where Kundalini, the snake, stays coiled up at. So back injury or divine intervention, because I wasn't ready for my Kundalini to awaken at the time in my life. And the pain that I'm feeling in my back, it doesn't have anything to do with the back injury at all. Maybe I was under spiritual attack then, and that's why it happened. Or maybe it wasn't. You know? I mean, have an open mind here, but all that coincidence? No fucking way. I don't believe in coincidence. No way. So I'm like, and Hecate's just telling me, like, see, now you're listening. And I was like, dude, that is so fucking beautiful. That is so amazing. And that's how spirit in the universe and your guides and whatever you believe in, when it comes to this, come on. How many of y'all with me on this? Like, you can't make this stuff up. Who does that? You know? Like, I'm being transparent and just open, and I'm channeling right now, and it's a beautiful thing. And to have this wow moment and to be able to talk about this with humanity, like, that is beautiful, y'all. That's beautiful. Like, the proof is right there. Sometimes we just need to, I said something about the fog, right? In the other video, because I started reading about the Katabatic journey in the other video when it rained, and I was talking about the motorcycles and everything, right? Anytime I go outside, I feel so good. I feel more connected. because outside is the way to go, you know. I started this video at 3:33. You can check when the time started. Probably it's 4:04 right now. That's 8. That's 8. 4:04. Check your clocks. It's 4:04 right now. That's synchronicity. I'm putting on blast. It's here. That's the magician energy. Hecate, when I was channeling Hecate, what does she say? If you go back and watch the channelings I did with Hecate, what does she say? She said, if you controlled your thoughts and you controlled your mind and you controlled your emotions, which are your powers, you would be your own magician. Infinity. When you look at the magician card in tarot, right? What's Pisces? Huh? If you took two fish, put them together, what do you have? Right? I know it's kind of difficult to do that. Is that not what the rope does? Huh? So balance. It's 4. It took me 2 fingers each to do that. That's 4. Again. Right? When I folded this piece of little string that was in my hoodie, right? What was 1 became 2. Right? If I tied the knot, like in marriage, we're not really getting married here or nothing, right? But that's a metaphor. If I tied the knot, well, then we have the wheel of the year, a consistent, right? That's a cycle right there. If we did that, what do you do when you're not that great of somebody? I don't mean that great like to down anybody, to say that they're not great, so please don't take that the wrong way. When I was a kid growing up, we had these stencils with circles. I was so terrible at drawing circles. So I'd always use those stencils to draw circles. And they were all circles close together. Who remembers those? They probably still got them. Okay. And then there was the other thing. The compass. The pencil on it. You could go like that. Draw a circle. You know? Use them for blueprints and all that stuff. Whatever. And so, here we go. Harry Potter just now popped in my head. Just now. The Chamber of Secrets. Remember the door with the snake, the serpent going around the door to unlock it? And there's the serpent that went and killed it with the basilisk, you know, and Phoenix rising, that scene, or whatever, and Gryffindor's house, Gryffindor's sword. Yeah, I think that's it. But y'all know what I'm talking about if you've seen Harry Potter, right? But that door with the serpent going around it, right? So the serpent eating its own tail, that's the Ouroboros, right? And man, that symbol's been everywhere in my life. Like, there's so much that's connected. It's crazy, right? Like, take my door number on my room is 114. That's 6, right? My first, middle, and last name all have 6 letters. That's 666. When you break that down numerology, that makes me a life path 9, right? What's inside of a 9 when you count it? How did they teach you in school, right? Let's pretend that this is a 9, right? Let's just pretend for a second that this is the 9, right? We got a number 9. So when you count down the spine of the number 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Trinity. Trinity, y'all. Inside the 9. And on my life path 9. Right? So, I'm like, what's with the movement? And I'm thinking to myself, well, the movement, there's something with that movement. It's more than just the snake and this, like, eating its own tail with the Ouroboros. It's more than just this. It has something to do with a wrapping of around, right? So, yeah, the Kundalini, it's feminine energy, right? This is what I get. This is what I got. It's divine feminine and masculine, right? Twirling around the staff of Hermes, and it's known as other things too. Okay, so what we're talking about is, okay, see, right now I'm being shown, okay, here, I can only show you, so I'm going to show you in real time. All right, so all right, well, that's high. So yeah, room 114. So they're giving me an image of Jesus Christ on the crucifixion with the Henry above his head, right? Well, every time I sit down on my bed, and I don't notice that I do it, but I'm always taking my right foot and I'm putting it over the top of my left all the time. I always do that, right? Well, they did that with Christ on the cross. But notice how, if you look at the crucifixion, he's got his knees bent, right? The nails in the hands, energy, knees bent. If you go look into working with chi, charging your chi, doing Tai Chi and Chi stances, which I do, right? So he was a healer, was he not? And you can literally feel, you go like this, right? To warm up, to charge your chi, and you go like this, you can feel the energy between your hands. If you go like this, you can feel the energy touching your hand. If somebody else does it, don't even touch your hand. You can feel the chi energy hitting right here in the center of your hand. Try it. Try it right now. Do it. You can feel it. You're gonna feel the chi energy from your fingertip to your hand. Well, when you put your feet in the grass to get grounded, right? Bend your knees when you're doing Tai Chi or you're doing any kind of chi charging work, right? You bend the knees, it allows the energy to flow through. Well, right foot over left foot is balance. And I was talking about the twos, that's balance, right? Hecate said something about the double-edged sword. Do you not see that the sword is a double-edged sword? That's what she said. If you took a knife that was a double-edged sword or sword, and you put it down and you spun it, right? It's the same fucking movement. So we're talking about the Kundalini. So I do believe that my Kundalini is ready to rise because I'm ready for it, because I did all the shadow work and everything, y'all. And I think a lot of people in humanity who knows what I'm talking about here, and because of the time we are in during these most exciting times during the Great Awakening, right? Y'all are ready to wake that energy up. But it's not about forcing. Feminine energy is not about forcing the energy, y'all. That's not what it is, right? Earlier today, like, I do this exercise because of the bed, and I don't like, any type of tension on my back. So I've been doing these exercises where I go slowly because I can't jerk my back too much, because just a sudden jerk of a movement will be, oh shit, I'm like freaking out because I'm like, oh god, I don't want to go out again, like, be crippled, shit. So I've been doing these exercises, alright? Don't take this the wrong way, but that's what I was doing. It's just exercises. We all adults here, right? Well, subtly, just a little bit, right? I didn't know that there was exercises for rising the Kundalini, y'all. And that's to it. That's how you do it, right? So it's not about stating and making affirmations and all that. It's about knowing when, by seeing the signs all around us, right? And the signs that are all around us is spirit talking to us. It's channelers. It's all that, right? And everything I just shared right here with you tonight during this live, that's how it works. Clear the mind of what is no longer for your highest good, right? What's the point of overthinking anything? Spirit's talking to everybody worldwide, loud and clear, and a lot of people don't pay attention. You know? And no judgment. It goes without judgment. We can't be out here judging each other, right? We just can't do that. What's the point? That's why I've been sharing the 4 agreements a lot, right? So, I don't know. I'm excited, y'all. I am really excited. I know. Why are you whispering? I'm outside. I live in a hotel. Leave me alone. Not judge me. You know what I mean? But look, for real, y'all, you can't make this stuff up. You can't make this stuff up. Clearly. Right? Everything I'm sharing with y'all, pay attention to what I'm saying. Because these messages aren't me speaking to you. It's spirit. It's the universe. It's Hecate. It's all the goddesses. It's all universal energy. Right? It's time for everybody. Why do people lose their cool so easily? Because they don't know how to deal with the emotions, because every day that they're caught up by life, right? So caught up by day-to-day life. And I was talking about that in another video. So literally, if you go back in time and track my videos, it's all connected. And like I said, I don't plan these things out. I wing it. I just wing it. And what is winging it? It's flow. It's going with the flow. When push comes to shove, it never works out. It's why kamikaze and rushing in head first to relationships never work out, right? They don't. If they do, then y'all was meant to be together. Congratulations, and I honor that. I do. You know, but it's rare. But it's rare because, you know, people don't take their time. And I was talking about the fog. I said what I said about the fog. I was like, do you ever think for a second that what happens when it's really foggy out when you're driving? Huh? Do you speed up? No. If you do speed up, then, you know, you're a daredevil. Cool. Good for you. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But I don't know anybody. I know I don't. And even with fog lights, special fog lights, I mean, you still ain't speeding up by that much. So really, they just robbed your pocket for some. I look at fog like this, and they put it in vampire movies too, right? When the fog shows up and you're going down the road, maybe it's an invitation to slow down. Maybe it's an invitation to slow down so that you can get a better look at it. I said that in that video earlier today too, and I'm going to say it again now because it's relevant. So, man, I'm so grateful that there's not anything that I would change on my journey, y'all. I said when I was talking about my autobiography, I was sharing with everybody, y'all can go watch that too if you want. Don't forget to follow me and all that stuff too. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. You know, I don't get nothing from this. I don't get money from this or nothing. I'm just doing it. I'm doing it. And I don't want no payment, you know? And that's, but anyways, I didn't finish that. What I was going to say. Okay, so, and when I was in my autobiography video, I was talking about, if you go back and watch it, you can, but I'm going to go ahead and talk. So, I was like, if the all-loving creator, that's divine masculine and feminine, the creator of the universe, who sits outside of the void come knocking on the door, and I answered the door, and it's like, I'm the creator, and I'm, oh, no, and they offered me, we'd like to offer you the option to 3 options, 2 options, or 1, whichever you'd like, and go back into your past, and you can choose up to 3 things, and once you see the outcome, if you were to make the change, that's what it would be when you came back, because that's how it works, right? That's what I was talking about. So 3. Started with 3 again, right, in that video. This was days ago, y'all. It all ties together, right? Trinity, right? And I said I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do it because I wouldn't be the strength. I would not be sitting exactly where I need to be right now. Who I am, molded into who I am. Met the people I've met. Every single person, my ears ringing right now, just now, my left ear. Downloads. Shouting. They're talking to me loudly, y'all. Real. When you know, you know. 4:21 on the clock. That's 7. Alright, y'all, I'm gonna jump off of here because my bladder's about to explode, and yeah. You can't force Divine Feminine. Divine Feminine's invitation. It's an invite, right? Yeah, that's beautiful. So that movement, right? It's in dances, belly dances, all that breath work, awaken the senses. Oh, I was talking about the breath work video that I did, and I was going like this, and I said clear your nasal cavity out so you can breathe good through the nose, right? Left, right, left, right, left, right. Switch it up. Do it for so long, and then go over here and do that for so long. Left, right. So it's left, right, left and right. Brain hemisphere. It surrounds the pineal gland. That's why you don't make sure you're paying attention when you're drinking actual natural spring water. If you gotta go get that out Mother Gaia yourself, and you know where there's a natural spring, then go do it. Don't just trust all bottled water because it didn't say that shit on there. Because it's got calcium chloride in it. It calcifies the pineal gland. Because they don't want you waking up. That's where your DMT sits in the brain and releases through the spine, right? If your Kundalini energy woke up and your pineal gland was closed, it's it cause mental madness. Crisis. Because Kundalini rises so fast that if a person's not ready for it, you know, it can cause hallucinations. Why? Why? How? Well, because we have natural DMT in our spine and pineal gland. When Kundalini rises, it's pure energy rising up, right? You don't want to force it. What happens when you force shit, right? It just don't work. That's why you need headroom when you do music mixes. You gotta have enough air in the mix in order for it to sound right, so it's not butting heads with the instrumentals and all the other shit that's going on inside the song. Oh, when I made an instrumental a while back ago, right? I was in the piano roll looking at all the keys, right? And I shrank the whole timeline down. And all the different notes that were marked on the timeline of the piano keys, right? So we're talking about sound here too. It looks like a DNA strand, y'all, right? The video that I did with the light language activations, right? The spine going down the book. Again, we have a spiral going down the spine of the book, alright? I love y'all. I love y'all so much. Everybody that's tuning in and listening to everything that I had to say on here, I really hope that you can take a lot from this. And please do, like, I'm still learning too with certain things too, you know, and what I say 2 and 2, you know, 4, right? 4:25 on the clock right now. That's 11. Because 5, 2, 4, right? So, again, with them ones, can't have one without the other, right? Just saying. Just saying. Check out every time I talk about it, it all lines up. I don't plan this. It just happens. I flow this. And my bladder's gonna explode if I don't cut it off here. So thanks for tuning in. And if you got any information you would like to correlate with what I'm talking about, please do share, drop in the comments, interact with me. The more we connect, the more we flex. Right? The more we connect, the more we resurrect. I love y'all. Peace.